Good morning. Well, everybody is doing well. On the back table, Mike and I put out some items we would like you to pick up. Two of those items are NEH workshops and Gooder-Lehman workshops. Last year, I had the opportunity to go to Mount Vernon to their workshop dealing with teachers. And at that workshop, I had the incredible opportunity to meet Larry Earl and listen to him as he told myself and 20 other teachers the African American history of Mount Vernon and how that was a major part of George Washington's life. After his lecture and sitting out on the piazza of Mount Vernon, Larry and I began to talk, and I began to realize what a tremendous amount of information and life work that he's done in African American history and African American culture. Larry was the founding executive director for the African American Museum and African American History Museum and Culture in Houston, and he's now in Los Angeles with another African American museum and also dealing with African American history and culture. Before those two positions, Larry worked with Colonial Williamsburg in their African American department. He is originally from Virginia, and he also works each year with the Mount Vernon Historical Association with teachers. We are very glad to have Larry this time. As y'all may realize, Larry wanted to come with us when we were in Hattiesburg, but he had this slight medical problem. So we are very glad that he has been able to reschedule and to be with us this morning. So without any more further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Larry. Thank you for coming and being with us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. As Whit said, I'm really delighted to be here, particularly after the last ordeal en route traveling here. I almost stroked out on the plane. I'm glad I'm living to talk about it now. But I need to drop about 50 more pounds. And stay away from the fried foods, off the caffeine, you know, all the boring stuff. Leave the bourbon alone, stop smoking cigars. I'm trying. I'm trying. And fortunately, I have a great wife who's working with me. Earlier on, Jim called me Dr. Earl, and I have to say he has given me some extra letters beforehand. I wish it was done, but I was actually at Harvard. PhD student at Harvard. I was just there for the last month trying to get things together. So hopefully I'll be done soon and I'll be a freshly minute PhD, but it's coming soon. So I wanted to straighten that out before we went any further. But let me begin by saying that in the time that we have today, if I say something that you take umbrage with or you might not understand is incorrect, please stop and raise your hand or interject. I'd like to have some exchange if we can do so. I really love working with teachers. That's what I do most of my working with teachers. And so I'd like to really talk about how we can take some of the things that you've talked about and use them in practical application in the classroom. So I like to share content, but I also, more importantly, like to talk to teachers about how best they can use things in these strategies in the classroom. So I'd like to do that today. I'm a public historian. So while I love the Academy and my dear friends at the Academy, I may have a little different style that some of you might, I want to warn you of. I may break out in song at any point. I editorialize a great deal where you find that other people from other professionals from the Academy don't do as much. They take a more nuanced, and I should say, a more objective position. But I'm going to give you my street cred now. As he said, I'm from Virginia, from Hampton, Virginia, actually. So I grew up on the campus of Hampton University, which was formerly Hampton Institute. I am an African American. As you can see, as Thomas Jefferson said, I have that immovable veil of black that gives me a particular perspective. And I usually try not to prohibit myself from allowing my perspective to provide extra to what we're talking about. So, fortunately, I get to talk a little bit about and sort of set things up, I like to say, for the migration. And just do a little bit of recap and talk about some things and sort of move you a little step closer to talking about, because I understand you have another speaker who will be getting into that even greater, correct?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
One of our.
All right, great. I want to make sure that I'm following the script.
That's right. There you go.
All right. So these are all high school teachers here, correct? No? Middle school. And high school. Okay, fabulous, fabulous. I haven't been to Mississippi in quite some time, so great to get back. As I told Whit, it reminds me of home. I live in LA now. My wife is from Los Angeles, so I've been on the West Coast for a while. But whenever I see a Piccadilly and the belts, I know I'm back in the South. One of those famous stories of belts. But let me begin with the emergence of Jim Crow and the need to go. This is what I'd like to talk about today. And everybody knows who Jim Crow is, right? So we don't have to go into this whole idea of the black menstrual period and talk about that, right? Because you guys got that cold, right? Okay, well, no more auction block for me. No more, no more. No more auction block for me. Many thousands gone. You all ever heard that song before? You have? Oh, fantastic. Great. Move on then. How about that? Because you can help me sing. You ready? Here are the lyrics for you. No more auction block for me. No more, no more. No more auction block for me. Many thousands gone. Okay. No more drivers will for me. No more, no more. No more drivers flash for me. Okay. Many thousands. Hold on, stop. Okay. I know some of you can't sing very well. I do understand that. This guy back here in the blue shirt, I can tell right now. If he opened up his mouth, he'd probably sound like he's killing chickens. But look here, man.
Right there.
In this room, nobody will ever know. Nobody will even hear you because we're all blended together. You can actually mouth the words and it'll be fine. Oh, I'm turning my, I don't want to, okay, thank you. I move around a lot too. So I want to see if we can pick this up a little bit. If we can give 100% participation in this program. You guys think you can help me out? I flew a long way to be here. I went through some trials the last time. But I hope that you all can help me out. So we're going to take it from the top again. Are you ready? Okay. Remember, if you kill chicken, just mouth the words. All right, here we go. No more auction block for me. No more, no more. No more auction block for me. Many thousands gone. No more drivers flash for me. No more, no more. No more drivers flash for me. Many thousands gone. Next verse, come on. No more whip and lash for me. No more, no more. No more candle salt for me. Many thousands. One more time. Come on, here we go. Last verse. No more auction block for me. No more, no more. No more auction block for me. Many thousands gone. Oh, you got the one. Give yourself a big round of applause. Wonderful. Well, I like to, being an African American, and I have to say, my focus, and especially in history, is actually the early African American experience. I mean, I'm talking about the early period. I'm talking about time of the Revolution, the 1700s. That's the period I love. I really love that period. Because I would always tease my friends who they studied the 19th century. I said, that's too easy. You guys like it because they got lots of documents and lots of pictures and stuff. I do the real research. I got to go and, go to the primary documents and blow dust off of things. And one of the standard texts that you read when you study 18th century African American history is you have to know this text called the interesting narrative of life of Gustavus Vasa, or a person by the name of Olado Equiano. And in Olado Equiano's book, he was captured in Africa, brought to the Americas, and he writes his memoirs. And in his memoirs, he's actually from Nigeria, around Nigeria, and it's an Igbo, which is an ethnic group in Nigeria. And he writes that we are almost a nation of dancers, singers, and poets.